Welcome to Brunswick Now on ATMC TV. I'm Jennifer Beasley, and I'll be filling in as your host this month for Megan Masser. As always, we have some interesting guests lined up for you, and this month is no exception. Today, we'll speak with Justin Williams, owner of North Brunswick and South Brunswick magazines, Jimmy Fletcher, head football coach at West Brunswick High School. He'll talk to us about a special event coming up, and finally, we'll talk with Tom Schoaf, a broker for Seacoast Realty. Keep your dial locked right here for the next half hour as we bring you Brunswick Now.
Welcome to Brunswick Now, ATMC TV, Channel 3, bringing you the best of Brunswick.
Let's first welcome Justin Williams from the North Brunswick and South Brunswick magazine. Welcome to the show, Justin.
I'm glad to finally be here.
Yeah, I know we've been trying to get you on the show. I know you've got a great publication, so we really wanted to get the word out about what you do.
And I appreciate it.
All that kind of stuff. So, well, first, before we get started and talking about your magazine, let's find out a little bit about you, who you are, and how you got to Brunswick County.
Well, see, I grew up in a small town in Virginia called Poquoson. You've probably never heard of that.
No.
And it is in the Hampton Roads area, which is Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Campton, Newport News. So grew up there. From there, went to college at Barton College in Wilson, North Carolina. You've probably never heard of that either. But went there, met my now wife, Christy. We moved to the Outer Banks after college. There, we had two friends that we had met at Barton that lived in Brunswick County. So we came down for a New Year's Eve party and stayed the weekend back in '03 or '04, I believe it was. And drove around, loved the area, and my wife thought I was crazy, but I was like, let's move here, you know? So about 6 months later, somehow I convinced her and we moved down here. And that's the short version, if you will, of how we got to Brunswick County.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, now, how did you get started in print publications and working in magazines and things?
Well, my aunt and my uncle own an advertising agency in the Outer Banks. And what they do is they produce like once a year tourist guides, you know, basically magazines for tourists. And they had a sales position come open and said, hey, we have a sales position open. Would you be interested in taking this? And I said, yeah, let's try it out. So I think about 2 weeks into that, I realized that I really loved the process. You know, it was just fun. And I thought there's more to this. So what I tried to do there is just absorb as much as I could. You know, and I didn't just stop at ad sales. It was you know, the process of the ad from back and forth. Sitting with the graphic designers, you know, learning why is this here in the ad? Why is this not here? You know, production process, learning everything from start to finish of the magazines, and that basically led me to where I am today. You know, but that was a good step for me to try to absorb a lot of the process of publications. So.
Okay. Well, now, you're the owner of the North Brunswick and South Brunswick magazines. So tell us why you wanted to start these magazines. Well,
I think, you know, it's one of those things where we kind of see ourselves as a positive media outlet. We're trying to showcase things that are great about the community. And I think that yeah, that was one of the main reasons for doing it. I feel like that creates a positive impact for the people reading the magazine, for our community. And that was really the main reason why. I mean, I could go down a list of other reasons, but, you know, we only have 9 minutes. So.
That's true. So, but, I mean, it does a lot for the community. I mean, there's tons of stories in there just about people in the community and really, like, little gems in the area that you just don't know about, or people that you don't know about, or services that you don't know about. So I love reading the magazine. And plus the artwork in there is great, the photography and things like that. I love seeing that.
Appreciate it.
But obviously this is a passion of yours, so, and I know it takes a lot of work to get a business started or magazine started, anything like that. So why do you have this passion for publishing magazines?
Well, I think I'm a resident of Brunswick County, obviously, so I think part of my passion maybe comes from that. You know, I love our area. I love the things, the people that all bring it together to impact our area. So I think that's part of it. I sort of feel like, you know, since it's really hard to describe in words, quite frankly. It's like when you have something from start to finish, and you have this product that, you know, of stories of people that have positively impacted the community for that quarter, and you've got it in your hands after all the work. you know, it's just something to be said about it, and it gives you this feeling that's different than anything else, you know.
Right.
And it's that would be as close as I could describe my passion for it into words that made any sense.
Yeah.
So.
I think I could get that. It's kind of like a sense of accomplishment to see something that you've just created and like now you're holding it in your hands.
Right.
Is truly amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so.
it is. But now you have North Brunswick Magazine and South Brunswick Magazine. So why did you decide to create two different magazines for Brunswick County?
Well, you know, I get that question sometimes. The main reason is because, you know, for example, if you're in Sunset Beach and there's an event happening in Leland, or there's a person that you're reading about that's in Leland, you don't really have that and it doesn't impact you like it does if you're reading about something in Sunset Beach. And
Right.
the same thing for in Leland. You know, if you're in Leland, you're reading about something in Sunset Beach, it just doesn't give you the same feeling, you know.
Yeah.
So really, Brunswick County, as you know, because you live here, it's a huge county, and
Yeah.
Leland it might as well be, you know, somewhere else, you know, because it's up there. I mean, a lot of people that are down here, they stay down here. A lot of people that are there stay there. So that was the reason for creating, and I think that was a good move for us. Instead of doing a whole, Brunswick County as a whole, I think it's better for our advertisers. It's better for the stories, you know, that we write. And so.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense because it's almost like when you read about a story happening in Sunset Beach and you live in Sunset Beach, there's that sense of connection
Exactly.
to the story or to the person, to the business, whatever it is. You can identify it and say, oh, I go there all the time
Exactly.
or whatnot.
And it's not the same if you
yeah,
don't. So.
Exactly, because it's kind of a long drive up to Leland if you're in Sunset Beach.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
Yeah.
you might not get to visit a business that you've read about unless you're heading to Wilmington or
That's
heading
right.
somewhere else.
That's
so,
right.
But now, kind of backtracking a little bit, what was your process in getting this started? How did you get this magazine to come to fruition?
Well, let's see. I guess North Brunswick we've been doing about 6 years now, and that was very, very hard. Basically, what I had done is I got the printer that we were using at the time to mock me up our first magazine was 40 pages, so they mocked me up this white paper, you stapled, and I brought it around to businesses. I was 25 years old at the time, so I probably looked a little bit younger, although I'm not that much older now. But, you know, looking back at pictures, I was a little bit younger, so I don't know if that was on my side or not. So it was a lot of convincing to hey, you know, I swear I'm going to be doing this magazine, you know? You know, trying to get people to advertise, to support it, to get it off the ground. That was a very hard process for North Brunswick Magazine. The good thing about South Brunswick Magazine, which we're about to enter our third year in, is we had North Brunswick Magazine to show. We had that. We had a little bit of a track record, so it was a little bit easier to get into the door. It's never easy to get businesses to support with ads and stuff, but you know, it was a little bit easier since we had something to show. So the process for North and South were two completely different, but both, you know, very good learning process for me. So.
And you're very successful. I see your magazines all over the place, and I've even seen them kind of in Wilmington area.
Yeah.
So where do you put your magazines? Like, where can people find them?
Well, if you're around, you're looking for copies for South Brunswick Magazine, any Food Lion, Southport, Food Lion, Oak Island, Holden Beach, Shiloh, Sunset Beach, Calabash. You can find them there. We just got into the Lowe's Foods. We have a wooden rack as soon as you exit Lowe's Foods. We're at all of them. Southport, Shiloh, Ocean Isle Beach, Sunset Beach. So if you're looking for copies, you can always go there to get South Brunswick Magazine. If you're looking for North Brunswick Magazine, you're going to have to drive to Leland.
Right, okay.
So Harris Teeter and Food Lion there.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your team, who you work with.
Well, the great thing about our team that we currently have is that I think everyone that I work with is equally as passionate as I am about what we're doing, and that really helps as far as when we're putting the process together. We have our graphic designer Andy Garno, who's awesome at what he does. Him and I constantly work, you know, around the clock at deadline. Hillary Brady, who's sort of an assistant editor, but also does ad sales and writing as well. You know, definitely is part of that process. Molly Harrison, our editor, awesome. I mean, everybody, Wendy Hunt, photography, Keith Ketchum, photography. Everybody's just awesome. We also work with some freelance writers and photographers as well, like Joanne Matthews, who lives here locally. Ronnie Holden does a lot of the event photos. Susie King, Calabash Photography, and Chris Campbell, as you know Chris Campbell. So you know, We probably work with about 20 to 25 people on an annual basis, but we have about 6 to 8 that are core every issue. You know? So it's fun, and I enjoy everybody I work with, which is a treat for me.
That's truly a blessing. Truly
It is,
a blessing.
it is.
So and I think part of your success, I mean, wouldn't you say has to be attributed to your team? You
Absolutely.
know, just being such a good group to work with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now tell our viewers where maybe if they wanted to get a subscription, or if they're a business that wants to advertise with you, how can they get in contact with you for that?
For subscriptions, if you go to southbrunswickmagazine.com/subscribe, on that page we have subscriptions that start at $15.99 a year. You can do 1, 2, or 3 year subscriptions. Obviously, the price goes up if you do the larger years. You can go on there. You can pay with PayPal, any major credit card, and if you don't have that option, you can print the page out, put a check in there, mail it to us.
Good old-fashioned way.
Yeah, everything is there. You know, all the information is there that you need for that. As far as advertising goes, you know, call me anytime you want.
Okay.
We have 2 phone numbers that you can reach us. One is 910-207-0156, and we have an 800 number, 888-299-3309. And, of course, ads at southbrunswickmagazine.com is our email.
Okay.
So I'd gladly take those emails.
Any kind of advertisement.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on
Yeah,
the show.
glad to finally be
I
here.
really encourage all of our viewers to go out and find one of your magazines or look online to see it, because truly it's a piece of work.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I love reading it. But thank you.
Thank you.
Let's now welcome Jimmy Fletcher, head football coach at West Brunswick High School. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Good
Excited to have you. So now, as I just introduced you, as you're the head football coach at West Brunswick High School, so how are you guys shaping up this year for football?
You know, we started last week. Believe it or not, it's already here. But it was fun. It was good to get back on the field, and the players are excited, and so it's been lots of fun so far.
Okay. Now we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit, because although you're the head football coach, you're focusing on a different sport now. So what is this? You put on an event every year. Tell us the name of this event.
It's our Trojan football John Murphy Golf Tournament.
Okay. And now, who or what does this benefit?
When I first got here, we decided to try to do some type of fundraiser, and a gentleman named John Murphy said, you know, why not do a golf tournament? And what our golf tournament does, it benefits our football program. All the money we raise, it goes straight into my football budget. You know, John Floyd, our AD, and our booster club, they do a lot for us financially as far as uniforms, helmets, shoulder pads, those type things. But for other things, we need more money. And, you know, recruiting has changed. You have to take kids to camps. Now, we can't pay for every camp for our players, but we try to pay for some. You know, some kids can't afford shoes, and we buy shoes. We do pregame meals for our players before the games. Our churches help us some, but we have to add some more money to that. And so, you know, it does a lot of things that we feel like it makes our program first class, and we try to do everything first class. And but it's something, it's kind of a necessary thing that we have to do.
Okay. Well, now, how did this get started? How did you come up with a golf tournament to support football?
When I first got here, I had been in college coaching, and all of our fundraisers were mostly based upon, you know, meals and speakers and those type things. And, you know, I just didn't think it would work in high school. So John Murphy, he actually was helping us at the time, and he said, you know, why not do a golf tournament? And I said, I've never done one. And he said, well, I've done one. He said, let's get you started, and let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes. So 8 years later, we're still doing the golf tournament.
Okay, so this is the 8th annual John Murphy West Brunswick Trojan High School Football Golf Tournament.
So it's kind of long.
Yeah, that's a long name,
right.
but you named it after John Murphy. So tell us a little bit about his story.
John Murphy is a gentleman that when I first got here, he just helped our program. Yeah, he had been in the program a lot longer than I had. And long story short about John, in 1954, John was a police officer in D.C., and they had a shooting in the Capitol building, and 5 congressmen were shot. And he was one of the officers that apprehended one of the shooters. And so that kind of is his claim to fame, I guess. But in 1992, he retired, came down here, He had always been involved in sports his whole life, so he actually went to, I think it was Coach Hickman at the time, who was the AD here, and he started helping with all different sports. I think he helped with baseball and football, but he always helps me with the golf tournament. So probably the second year we were here, the second golf tournament, we named it after him. We kind of surprised him, so he was shocked. But it was something that I had never done it, and he just did a great job. And he's got great character, and I thought it'd be a great tribute to him, and it's been very fun to do that.
Now, when is the tournament? The day and times?
The day is July 23rd.
Okay.
It's at Briarwood Golf Course.
Okay. Chris
Lane and his staff, we've had it there every year. They've done a great job for us. It starts at 8:30, and we're trying to set a record this year. We want 30 teams in it, something we've never had. So we're trying to make it bigger and better every year.
Okay. Now, what's the cost of the event?
It's $50 per person. Right now, it's probably one of the cheapest ones around. We've thought about raising the price, but some of our former players play in it, and some of those guys are still in college. So we try to keep it pretty reasonable. So it's always fun to see those guys come back. So it's $50 per person, $200 per team, and it's 4 per team. So, but it's been good for us so far.
Okay. Now you said so you can do singles at the golf tournament, or you can do groups of 4.
Groups of 4. We've had people walk up the day of the tournament and say, "I would like to play," and we'll match them up with somebody. So we do not turn anybody away.
Yeah.
So it's been, again, some of our coaches, they love to play, and if someone comes late and wants to play, they'll play with their coaches or something like that. Now, I don't play, but
you
but
don't?
I just try to make sure it gets off and all everything is good. So,
Okay.
but it's a lot of work. But it has been really beneficial to our program. We've been able to do a lot of things with the money that we've been able to raise.
Good, good. Now, give us some more details about the event. Is it a shotgun start, captain's choice? There's tons of these terms, I guess, for golf tournaments.
We do, like I said earlier, we start at 8:30. It is a shotgun start.
Okay.
It is captain's choice. What we do is you can buy. We limit the mulligans. You can buy 4 per team, and it's $10 per mulligan.
Okay.
And again, we hope to have. We do a complimentary breakfast. We're going to do actually muffins this year, and then we have juice and coffee, and then and as you come up, we give you a ticket, and we have door prizes, and you actually get your door prize before you play. And one thing that when we started it, we said we really want to be able to, everyone that plays in it, we want them to walk away with something. So our community's been very supportive, and we've had door prizes for everyone. And then after the tournament, we do a meal, and Chris Lane, like I say, and his staff, we do barbecue and hot dogs and things like that. So it's I've talked to a lot of people, and they say it's a great tournament. So not that I've played in a lot, but we try to make it as good as we possibly can.
Okay. Now, is the option to sponsor a hole available?
Oh yes, in fact, that's what I'm working on there.
Okay.
I'm sure they get tired of seeing my face, but we go around and we try. Our hole sponsors are $100 per hole, and we can do major sponsors for $300 a hole.
Okay.
So and we try to give some publicity back to them once they sponsor, and the Beacon is very good for helping us with that, and you guys, and so it's we feel like it's a win-win for both of us.
Well, good. Now, if someone wants to sponsor a hole or register, how can they do that? Who do they contact?
Probably the best thing to do. There are several ways. We have brochures at Briarwood right now. You can come to the school Mondays through Thursdays from 7 to 5. We have brochures in the front office. You can always contact me by email, and you can look on our website, or my email is jimmy_Fletcher@bcswan.net.
Okay.
But, we have different ways, but those are probably the school or Briarwood is probably the best way to do that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today,
Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck in the 8th annual John Murphy
That's
West
right.
Brunswick Trojan High School Football Golf Tournament. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Joining us now is Tom Schoaf with Coldwell Banker Seacoast Realty. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Hey, thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. Let's first start out find a little bit about you. Where are you from originally, and how did you get to Brunswick County?
Sure. I'm originally from the High Point, Greensboro area.
Okay.
And moved here almost 6 years ago. So we actually came to open up initially an appraisal firm and a real estate firm, and just thought it was a great place to come and live and to raise the family.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, Brunswick County is a beautiful area, so it's a good place to raise some kids. Now, have you always had a career in real estate?
No, I actually started out in the physical therapy career. So I worked in physical therapy and still hold a license, and within a couple of years decided that real estate's really where I wanted to spend my time, and so I went and got into the real estate sales end of it and also the appraisal field.
Okay, but now I saw, I guess online, looking at your profile and things like that, that you're also a broker.
Yes.
So what's the difference between being a real estate agent and a broker?
Used to, there was a really big difference. It was two sets of license, I guess. You always start out as a salesperson first, and then through a series of education and experience, you became a broker. Now, North Carolina has changed it to where all real estate agents are a broker.
Okay.
So you actually have to be a broker to be able to perform and sell real estate.
Okay.
Now, there's a difference between a realtor and a broker, and a realtor is a national organization that you're saying that you're going to have higher standards and be more professional and a different level of code of ethics that you abide by. And you have to be a membership in that to actually be considered a realtor versus just a broker.
Okay, okay.
So.
Yeah, I never really knew the difference between that. So, but I'd see some people were brokers, some were realtors, and so I never knew what you could do with that.
Yeah.
But now, you work with Seacoast, Coldwell Banker, Seacoast Realty, and you have a team of 3 there?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us a little bit about your team?
You bet. Coldwell Banker Seacoast Realty, we have an office here in Shallow, and we have a team that's called the Tom Schoaf and Associates team. And in that team, it actually consists of 3 folks. It's myself, we have Stan Powell, and then Crystal Babson. And our thoughts and what we really strive ourselves is to be a little bit more professional type team. And by having all 3 of us, it does a couple of different things. Each one of us kind of have our specialty in the market, if you will. So like for myself, I have an appraisal background, a new construction background, and new communities. So whether it's a typical house or a lot or looking for construction plans or building or anything like that, Stan is kind of our marketing guru. He's up to date with all the technology and really keeps us in check and in line to make sure we're kind of cutting edge technology. And Stan also has a new home experience. So he used to work with D.O. Horton and several home communities, so he's got that behind him. And then Crystal is actually originally from this area, so Crystal's got a great local knowledge of everything. She really likes to deal with the luxury markets, and she also has a construction background, so she can take it from a turnkey raw land to a complete home for the person to live. So it's a great team concept. The other thing that's really special about that is if one of us are busy or out of town, then our buyers or our sellers don't kind of get left out there. We've got somebody to kind of step in and pick up where one of us have to leave off.
Oh, it sounds like you got a great team there.
That's
good. Yeah, a lot of strengths. That's very good as a team.
For sure.
As far as selling homes, you guys do a lot of different kind of marketing in your group. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Some of the new technology kind of things that you guys are doing to market your houses.
Sure. One thing, like I said before, Stan keeps us up to date with everything, which is really awesome. But there's a lot of technology out there. Used to, we'd stick a sign in a yard, maybe do some flyers, and we'd have 2 or 3 offers coming in at the same time. Now you really have to be up to date. And with most of our buyers, it's like 98% of our buyers start their home search online. So it's very important for things like internet optimization to where you're placed kind of strategically on the internet sites. We do a lot of videos, virtual tours. You can check us out on YouTube, so all of our homes are on YouTube. That's just kind of scratching the surface. We also have services that it's called Spin Stitch, and with that, it's a marketing service that does flyers and videos and virtual tours and mapping, and they actually advertise us on things like Craigslist. And then with Coldwell Banker Seacoast, we have our own websites, and we get exposure on things like Homes.com, realtor.com, so really just everywhere that we can be on the internet. And one cool thing we've come up with is actually called a QR code, and you probably will start seeing these pop up more and more and more. To someone that has never seen them before, it kind of looks like a bunch of squiggly lines, and you go, what in the world is that?
Yeah.
So, but I actually have one here.
Yeah, if you want to show us. Yeah. Because I'm not sure when I hear QR code, I mean, I've heard of a barcode and some other things, but this is something a little different. But
It is. It kind of looks like a barcode or a scan code. And basically what this is, like I said, it looks like a bunch of lines that means nothing. But if you have one of the up-to-date phones like an Android or
like an iPhone.
An iPhone, yeah, that's that you have, you can actually scan this.
Okay.
And once you scan this with an iPhone, and this could be anywhere, it could be in the newspaper, it could be one thing that we're actually going to start doing, and they're actually should be coming in soon, is we put this on all of our listings on the signs out front of the home.
Oh.
So you can whether it's on the computer, the TV, newspaper, or signage, anybody that has one of those phones, they actually just scan it. And once it's scanned, it links them directly to that home and a video of our home. So like if we had an iPhone right now, you could scan it, it'd go directly to the video of a home that we have listed, and there's no typing in anything. It's very split second and easy to use.
Wow, what a neat idea.
That's right.
What a
That's
great
right.
idea.
You might, if your viewers are at home, you may even want to get your iPhone out and try to scan it from the TV, and it might even work. So
now, what house is this to?
this is actually to one of our homes that was in Ocean Ridge Plantation.
Okay.
And it's a direct link, and you'll see our video. I should have brought my phone in for you so you could actually test it, but but it goes directly to it. So
okay,
it's a really neat deal.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for showing that to us.
Sure.
Now, if someone wanted to see some of the properties that you have listed, or maybe wanted to list with you or use you as a realtor to find a home, how do they get in contact with you to do that?
You bet. It's real easy. You can give us a call. Our direct line is 910-294-2214.
Okay.
We also have a website called coastalhomeslisted.com. And that's really the best way. So definitely just pick up the phone and call us is the easiest.
Okay. And now, before we wrap up, I kind of want to get, as a realtor, I know you're out there every day selling homes, helping people buy homes and things like that, but what's your opinion on the Brunswick County housing market right now?
You know, Jennifer, we get that question all the time.
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
probably our number one question. And it really is very area specific, and it depends on when you bought.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if you kind of bought around the 2005, that was kind of our height that we saw, hike of the market, and that was probably the highest point it was.
Okay.
You know, as we look at our numbers, and actually our numbers have been down since 07. They started dropping pretty rapidly in 05, but constantly down. Now the good news is if you look at our current year, from June 2010 until June 2011, we're actually up over the last 3 years. So that's a good sign in the market that we are going up. And the other question, you know, we kind of get is it a good time to buy?
Yeah.
And what we're seeing is, you know, again in 05 and 06, we saw what we call a depreciation in our market, which is a negative value situation to where our values are constantly going down. And that is the case. It was going down. As of 07, we were down about 7.5%. But as the market's coming to current, you know, those numbers are going down, which is a good sign. We're seeing only about 2.3% of depreciation, and we're starting to see our sales go up,
Oh, that's
which
good.
It is, and it tells us that really now's the time to buy because we're very low, and you take a 2%, you know, some people are speculating whether the market's going to drop 5 or 10%, and really we've been at 2% for the last 2 years. So it's definitely the best time to buy. Most of the homes that you're buying right now are back in the same values as we were in 04.
Okay. All right.
So it's
you
great.
definitely, your money would stretch a little farther when buying a home. Then,
It definitely would stretch a little bit farther
Okay.
for buying a home.
All righty.
So-
Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing all that you guys are doing and a little bit about the housing market. We really appreciate it.
Well, you're quite welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us this month on Brunswick Now. We've had some great interviews today, so be sure to check out all that our guests talked about. If you have any questions about the guests or events you've seen on this month's show, feel free to call 910-755-1770 or email atmctv@atmc.coop. Be sure to join us next month for Brunswick Now on ATMC TV. Brunswick Now's set is provided by Badcock Home Furniture and More, located on Main Street, Charlotte. Stop by today to find your perfect match.